All right, let's talk about PIM, Passive Intermodulation. If you're an RF tech, you already know the deal. It's one of those super tricky problems you run into out in the field. It can absolutely kill a network's performance, drive users crazy, and honestly, it can turn into a massive headache to track down. But what if? What if you had a proven playbook, a step-by-step guide to nail it every single time? Okay, let's get into it.
Okay, so before we dive deep, I want you to know where all this great info is coming from. This is actually part 6 of a big 10-part series, and it's all based on this super detailed report from the pros over at RFI Detectives. They're part of Virtualization Options LLC. So we're not just making this up, we are standing on the shoulders of some serious field-tested knowledge here.
I bet this sounds familiar, right? You're on site, the clock's ticking, network performance is in the tank. You've got that gut feeling it's probably PIM. But where on earth do you even start looking? The pressure is definitely on to find that source, and you gotta find it fast. You know, when you're hunting for something as sneaky as PIM, it can be caused by something as tiny as a loose connector or a single metal filing. Just guessing or randomly swapping out parts, that's just not gonna work. The only way you're gonna win this battle is with a methodical, systematic approach. Trust me, having a process is your most powerful tool out there.
Look, the temptation to rush is always there. I get it. But the report we're drawing from puts it perfectly. It says, rushing through steps or skipping procedures typically wastes time and may lead to incorrect diagnoses. And that's exactly it. It's a trap, and it always ends up costing you more time and more headaches in the long run.
So, let's be real for a second about what that guesswork actually costs you. We're not just talking about wasted hours on the clock. It's about swapping out expensive components that were perfectly fine to begin with. It's about extending that site downtime. And you know what? Ultimately, it's about your reputation as a professional. And this really lays it all out, doesn't it? The two different realities of PIM hunting. Over on the left, you've got the chaos of guesswork. It's just a tangled mess, wasted time, wrong diagnoses, and the PIM source is still out there hiding. But then you look to the right, and you see the clarity of a methodical approach. We're talking efficiency, we're talking accuracy, and a site that's back online fast. So the real question isn't just about having a process. It's about which one of these outcomes you want to deliver. But here's the good news. There is a solution. There's a field-tested workflow out there that's been sharpened and perfected over thousands, literally thousands of real-world PIM hunts. This isn't some textbook theory, okay? This is a battle-proven process that actually gets results. So what is this magic formula, you ask? Well, it's a 5-step workflow. I want you to think of it like your official PIM Detectives playbook. It's a guide that's going to walk you right from that first suspicion all the way to the final fix, every single time. And here it is, the playbook itself. Step 1, visual inspection. Seriously, just use your eyes first. Look for the obvious stuff, damage, loose connections, things like that. Next, step 2, baseline measurement. You've got to measure the PIM level before you touch anything. How else will you know if you're making things better? Then we move to step 3, component isolation. This is where you systematically test different sections to really narrow down where the problem is hiding. Once you've got it cornered, you hit step 4, source determination. This is where you pinpoint the exact bad actor. And finally, step 5, remediate and test. You fix the issue and then you test again to prove that the PIM level is back down where it belongs. See, it's a crystal clear roadmap, all the way from problem to proof. You know, following that roadmap, that's really what separates the pros from the amateurs. You're never lost. You always know exactly what the next step is. And maybe just as importantly, you know how to prove you've actually solved the problem when you're done. So, to put a really fine point on it, this whole systematic workflow is all about logical progression. You're not just poking around and randomly checking things. No, you're moving from a big, broad assessment down to a narrow, confirmed source and then on to a verified fix. The whole process is designed for one thing and one thing only, to solve the problem quickly and correctly, the first time. Okay, so now that we have the process laid out, let's talk about the payoff. Why is it so important to actually commit to this method? Well, because it's not just about being neat and organized. It's about being efficient, it's about being effective, and let's be honest, it's pretty much essential for any serious RF professional. And this right here just brilliantly spells out the benefits. Following this method makes sure your troubleshooting is efficient. It keeps you from making that super costly mistake of replacing perfectly good equipment. It means you get the site back to full performance way faster, so you're minimizing downtime. And when you put it all together, what does it mean? It means you're operating at the level of industry best practices. Simple as that. So, here's the key takeaway I want you to walk away with. This 5-step process, it's not just another procedure to memorize. It is the foundation of professional PIM problem solving. When you adopt it, you're literally moving from guessing to knowing. So the only real question left is, are you ready to make it your playbook?